Hey everyone, thanks for joining. My name is John, software engineer with 10 years of experience. I also have a PhD in economics where I studied the return on investment to post-secondary alternative credentials. And today we are studying the impact of GPT-4 on economic research productivity. So I have done a bunch of pre-work to this. Basically, I ran a study and got the results. And those results are still in the online survey tool. And so we're going to pull them out and analyze them for the first time today. Hopefully get to the paper drafting stage. So I'll be working on this all day. This will be broken up into multiple streams. Join along for the ride. It'll be great to have you. So in front of us is the repository where all of the data will be housed. Basically, all of my papers, the work goes into this repository. All of my open papers, which is like, I think I have literally 1 or 2 papers that are not open. I'm really, really big on open source programming and also open research. So my data, as often as possible, is open, including for the purpose of this study. Still, there will be times where I need to take the data off screen because it might have personally identifiable information. So that will be, I'll basically just take it off screen and then show you the ambiguated sort of, where I just use a participant ID or something like that is what we will be analyzing together. Okay. Some of the other pre-work I've done is obviously like all of the literary reading that I've done. We're not going to be doing that together. So I bring to the table, I'll find a paper and then I'll keep track of it. And I actually don't know right now where that list is, whether it's an email or a Google Doc. But I have a list of related papers, basically. And so to get to the point where we're at today, had to design the survey, and I have a Google Doc about the design as well. Yeah, let's bring that up. I'm pretty sure that I can show everyone that. I'm just going to review this off screen to make sure that it doesn't have anything sensitive in it, but I don't think it does. And then once I check that, I'll bring it on screen. So I'm going to my Google Drive. And here is my GPT-4 study. I have a bunch of papers in here. Yep, this will be great. I'll show you this. This will be great. And they already use the participant IDs instead of the names. So awesome. And Grammarly keeps popping up over and over. Leave me alone. Let me live. Okay, so here is the draft study design, and here's the whole study folder. Okay, so the way this works, and then here's my main doc notes, and so I'll keep track of some URLs, and there's a couple that I haven't added actually. I'll go ahead and bring up the tweet. Patricia. Oh, I don't know. There's an additional tweet I need to add in there. Whatever. We'll get to that at some point. So the way this works is I have all of these papers. They're literature reviews. They're one-page literature reviews. And some of them are written by GPT. You can see 17-GPT is written by GPT. And some of them are written by people. In this case, this person would be called Jay. I think Jay is me. I think Jay is for John. But then I won't tell you, who the other people are. And then I presented these summaries to humans of a variety of educational backgrounds, and I asked them to rate in a blind way. So they don't know who's from GPT, they don't know who's from humans. And then also these are written by humans of various educational backgrounds. So some have PhD, some are, I think one participant has a master's, and then some have bachelor's. And the question is there a significant difference there? Or are the calibrating GPT writing ability, GPT-4, does it write at a passable PhD level? Can it help you write an academic paper to get published? That's basically the question. And a couple of interesting things about this study. This is the first study to focus on economic research in particular. So GPT has displayed a very broad-based ability to do a good job. But generally, it cannot mimic deep expertise in a particular field. Once you try to get really deep, it sort of cracks, and you can see that it doesn't really know very well. It'll start using weasel words like maybe, possibly. It will do things that a researcher would never do. It will do things like give contingent assertions. It'll say like, well, maybe this could happen or that could happen. When you're writing a paper, you don't want to say this could happen or that could happen. When you're writing a paper, you say the result is this. And we found that result because of this. And that other paper said that other thing, but they're wrong because of this. Where GPT will tend to say, well, some people think this and some people think that. And so that's, for someone who's in academic research, it's very easy to separate those. It may not be easy to separate those to your high school graduate or even your college graduate, but it wouldn't be published. So that's kind of what we're doing here is, can it pass deep expertise? And then we also know GPT has various capabilities depending on basically the training set. So some things are very well trained. For example, think about programming languages. There's lots and lots of source data for training in Python, JavaScript, TypeScript, but less so in like Kotlin or Scala. And so it does a poorer job at solving coding tasks in those niche languages. Similarly, in research, we can expect that it's not going to do an equally good job across the board. In some fields, it will be better. In some fields, it will be worse. And this has to do with the basically unknown training set that GPT-4 uses. Okay, so that's another unique aspect of this paper, is we are looking specifically into economics. And we tested this niche. I tested this niche idea further by asking about Austrian economics. So Austrian, even within economics, Austrian is a further niche compared to neoclassical, which is sort of like mainstream. And so we're really pushing on this. Does it understand the edges of the nuance? Like, how deep can it go in this field of economics in particular? And then the last interesting piece of this is that when we talk about large language models, really, GPT-4 is not a large language model. It's a multimodal model. And when we talk about ChatGPT, in the research, some people are talking about GPT 3.5, which is a large language model and which is substantially less capable than GPT-4. So this study is from the ground up GPT-4. We're not talking about all the other models. We're not even restricting ourselves to large language models. We're dealing with GPT-4, which includes LLMs, and it also includes this better capability set of multimodal models. So I think you get the background. And this one, is it publicly shared yet? Yeah, anyone with the link can comment on this. And I'll include a link to this in the description. You can say I have some miscellaneous notes, some related papers and whatnot. And so that's basically the research background that I'm bringing to the table. So now how do we dive in? So how we dive in is I clone this repository to my local machine. It's called Research Dissertation Case for Alt Ed. Originally, it was for my dissertation, and then I just put all of my papers in here, so they're all together. And it makes it easy for me to look up different ways that I've done things. Okay. So I just checked this out today on this computer, created a new branch, GPT-4 Econ Productivity. And we're going to go into the papers. And here we are going to make a directory. And this will be called GPT-4 Econ Productivity. We'll just call it GPT-4 Econ Prod. Let's call productivity. Prod sounds a bit like production. Okay. So let me open up this folder. And what I want to do is basically get my folder set up. And I want to create a CSV. And then I'll go out to the survey tools and put my CSV in and like move into the CSV file. Does that make sense? All right. docx PDF txt. So this is the typical, this is like a lightweight structure. There's no analysis in there. Yeah, this is more of the heavyweight structure that I need. So there's going to be a data folder with, we're going to use Python. Yep, sometimes I'll use Stata or something else, but I'm definitely doing Python this time around. Figures and tables, preprint material, and then the kind of the state-of-the-art material, which is like the current version. Okay, so I think we'll follow this structure. Let me look at a couple others, but I think that's the structure I want. Data and figures, great. Data and figures and preprint. Matching effects, data, figures, preprint, okay. Data, figures, model papers. Oh yeah, a model paper folder would be good too. Presentation materials. I'll make that if I need it. Data, figures, lit review. Yeah. Okay, so this new, we can have a notes folder. That's good, rather than putting stuff into a Google Doc. I guess it sort of works either way, but having it in the repository itself is really nice. Okay, so here we'll make a data folder, and that's going to include data files and also their analytical files, so the scripting like Python. So data, we'll have a figures folder where illustrations go. What was the other? Preprint. Data, figures, preprint, and lit review. I think that looks good to me. Okay, and I'll make a git keep for each of these. So right now we're just outlining the folder structure. Copy, paste one in there. Git keep is an empty file that ensures that Git will persist that folder, because by default, the Git version control system will trim an empty folder. So this will be a chore, new paper dirs, new paper directories. Okay. All right, great. And now I need to remember where I put my data. Let's see, is it in my main notes? Here's the design doc. This should be the same thing. Yep, it's the same URL. Here are the survey questions. Some things to cite. And we used a special prompting strategy that was state-of-the-art at the time of analysis, which was the tree plug-in forced prompt technique. Which is a tool-assisted tree of thoughts.
Do you mind if I vacuum for a little bit?
I mean, it's all super loud to me, so. Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna take them upstairs.
All right. And we use the July GPT model. Okay, so none of these are showing the website that I used. Okay. EduBirdie. Right. EduBirdie is another draft source. What is this one? Is this the same thing? This is still the draft design. Okay, does the draft design mention that website? I can look through my email if I need to. Okay, all right, let me check my email. I'm surprised I didn't have a link to it. Purpose of the survey is to determine academic writing ability. Okay, I guess I used Google Forms, it looks like. So they didn't enter it into the website. I sent this survey to like some crowd workers, basically. Am I not already logged in? Okay, let me sign in. Yeah. Great, here are the responses. Okay, great. Great. Well, this will make it easy to get into CSV. You can see we have these different levels of education. Post-secondary degree, only 5 people said yes. Small number. What education level does the writer appear to have? Great. So I don't think there's any, let me again open it up off screen and then bring it on. I don't think there's any PII over here. So there's a timestamp when they filled it out. Great. Yeah, it's basically, it's already obfuscated. It's already ambiguated. And okay, cool. So here's the data, yo. Here's the initial data. Prolific was the name of the website. And okay, so I used Prolific and Mechanical Turk, it looks like. So I guess I already have my data, but let me go double check the Prolific site to see if we want to make Prolific better for you. Okay, whatever. Yeah, let me just show you Prolific because this place is kind of cool. If you need participants, prolific.com, check it out. This is the place. And then I also used a bit of mechanical. I'm checking to see if I actually had anyone come from Mechanical Turk. Basically, I might want a column which says their channel source. Is it Prolific, Mechanical Turk, or other? So that could be an interesting data feature. However, if they all came through Prolific, it's not necessary. So that's what I'm trying to figure out right now. Just finished JS crash course, understood the basic fundamentals. Should I now code along with guided projects? Yeah. I would say code along. What do you mean guided projects? I would say just go ahead and start your portfolio. Have you started your portfolio yet? The problem with guided projects is you can use them as a crutch and you get into what's called tutorial hell. So I would advise you to use unguided projects. And when I say unguided, I don't mean don't look at any tutorial information. I mean, do your own thing. Start by deciding what you want to do. Start by trying it and look for help on an as-needed, just-in-time basis, rather than looking to a given tutorial from the beginning and trying to follow it step by step. Yeah, it looks like I forgot my password. That's not good. All right, let's reset it, I guess.
Oh, I can back it.
Okay, so here's my prolific study completed, and I can see how many samples were completed through prolific is what I'm looking for. Here are 10, okay, and then 2 returned. I'm not sure what the returned ones are. And there is demographic data downloadable through prolific, which is interesting. I'll make a note of that. I may or may not end up using that. This is main doc notes. And today is the 1st. Happy New Year's. Analytical notes. Okay. So one is prolific.com used for recruitment partial. Checking. Log in with laterally email. Okay, and another note is prolific has demographic data for their participants. Not sure I need it. We will see. Okay, so I had 2 batches over here. So I have a batch of 10, and how many are in the other batch? It looks like 2 batches of 10, unless I just clicked the same thing twice. There's an oversample batch where I oversampled graduates. And then there is a standard sample batch, and that is 16. 16 with 6 returned. So I wonder if I'm going to have some partial responses. Even if I include the 16, that would lead to 26. Okay. 16 from, oh, okay. No, this could be all 30. Okay. 16 approved from standard batch and 7 returned or timed out. Look for partial responses. 10 approved from oversampled graduate batch, graduate educated batch. So I wanted to get basically more educated respondents. So I oversampled graduates in a second batch. And there were 10 approved and there were 2 returned. Okay, so if I only look at the approved ones, there's 26 samples. Where comes from the 30? I think I filled one out myself. Then there remain 3. Those could be people that I directly messaged. So we'll check on that. Or those 3 could be some of these like partial responses, whether they were returned or timed out or whatever. So that's what we're going to want to include a column for that. Okay. So we're looking over here. Enter your prolific email. Okay. So, or Mechanical Turk. So this is where I can map it. Oh, there is an email there. Dang. Enter your prolific ID, Mechanical Turk ID, or email. 1, let's see where we have the actual emails. 2, 3. Yeah, 3 cases of an email. And 1 case that says NA. Is that a valid record? It says NA. What are you doing? So this seems to exclude my own response, unless I'm the NA. Genuinely don't remember. The NA comes from 812. And it is the second to last. It is the second to last respondent. I don't think I would have been the second to last respondent, eh? I think I would have been the first. And in fact, I think that's exactly what I did. I think I filled out the form to test to make sure the thing works, and then I purged myself. So I don't think I'm showing up in this record. Okay. Well, they will get a flag, and we will see if they're an outlier or not. If they're an outlier, we'll purge them. Okay. Like 1, 2, 3 with email. 1, 2, 3 with email. 1, 2, 3, 4 with email. 1, 2, 3, 4 with email, and then an NA. 4 with email, not prolific nor mechanical Turk, and 1 NA. My own sample is not here. Give NA a flag. Probably a good thing. Although I am interested to compare my own answers, but whatever. I can do that outside of the paper, I guess. Let me also take a look at the YouTube chat. I've been ignoring that. RF says, yo, John. What's up, RF? Thanks for being here. Happy New Year's. All right, so so where do we go from here? I think we could just dive in and do an exploratory data analysis on these samples. And that would be good for now. Let me record a map of these emails to some ambiguated IDs. Oh yeah, I don't need to. I can simply use their row number. I can simply use their row number. Okay, so this will be Google Sheets, and then I will copy into my CSV the Google Sheets row number. And this Google Sheets actually does need to be private. Yeah, okay, and it is. Great. All right, what I'll do here is I will first up grab the title row. So we're making a CSV now. So we go to data, and this will be, I'll just call it main.csv, main.csv. Wow. This is supposed to be my title row. Here I will do a markdown file, and this will be survey. I'll say main, here, this will be main.md. And this will be the main data explanation file. This, the main.csv uses terse columns, terse column text, and this file expounds on the meaning of those column names. Okay, the main CSV uses terse column names. This file expounds on the meaning of those column names. The column names amount and their descriptions amount to a description of the survey. Do I even want this file? Yeah, okay. This is mainly a working file. Please prefer the PDF form of the paper and its survey and its questionnaire appendix once available to this file for the purpose of survey or like questionnaire, for the purpose of explaining questionnaire details. Its methodology and its methodology section. Okay, great. And then we'll just dump this down here. Do a little break. So here we'll say Q1 timestamp. We can just call this timestamp, that's fine. When the survey response was submitted. I'm going to delete all that actually and do these one by one. So here we'll call Q2. Okay, there's Q2. And so you can see what I'm doing here. I am basically just going to create these terse names. Oh, enter your email. So we'll leave that out. This is not included in the, like we don't even want to do that. We don't even want to do that. Q2 is omitted from main.csv. This question identified the participant for the purpose of survey response integrity, communication needs, communication as needed, and reward administration. Great. So that's going to be omitted, and then we'll go to Q4. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. What is your highest level of education? Okay, and then we'll say possible answers. High school or less, some college, an undergraduate degree, a graduate degree, One, two, three, four. Did I have anything higher than a graduate degree? Did I do postdoc or anything like that? I know for a fact multiple of these participants have postdoc and professorial experience, but that was not noted. So I don't think I have a distinct category for postdoc. Oh, but I do have a PhD. I do have a PhD in contrast to a graduate degree in finer specificity. Finer specificity to a graduate degree, and this is really idiomatic of my own work. because it's a 5-point scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's totally me. I would have totally thought to myself, postdoc, maybe, but it's a 5-point scale, leave it alone. It's already good. I don't want a 6-point scale. That's weird. Okay. Okay, great. Do you have a post-secondary degree in economics? With Econ degree. That's a yes/no question. Okay, and then that would be Q5, and then here's Q6. And this is really why I made this file, because with these questions, it starts to get meaty. These are like really kind of long questions. For document ID 1, please answer the following 3 questions using a comma-separated format. What education level does the writer appear to have? Use U for undergraduate or lower, M for master's level, or P for PhD or higher. An example would be U11. Okay, great. And basically all of the participants are reviewing all the documents and they're rating. They're doing this rating. It's like a crowdsourced rating. And all of the questions look like this. So this is for document 1. So I'll just call it rating, or doc 1 rating. It'll be doc 2 rating. And I think all the questions are the same. Okay, good. So I sort of freaked myself out with how large these questions are. But they are all the same thing except for the document ID, up to 18. So they range from 1 to 18. This question is repeated for document IDs ranging from 1 to 18.
Dad, look what I have.
It's a little car.
Yeah, it came from one of Mommy's or your bathroom's.
Did it really? Okay.
My mom told me that, actually.
Honey, I'm doing work.
Okay, I can get out.
Thanks.
And leave you alone.
Let me do this. For document ID 1, for document this question is repeated for document ID ranging from 1 to 18. For document ID, please answer the following 3 questions using a comma-separated format, okay? Not really sure why the quote is there twice, but anyway, I think that makes sense. And this will be, so here we have timestamp Q2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this will be Q6 to 6 plus 18, 24. Or let's just say rating questions. This question set accounts for questions number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to 24. I think I'm mathing correctly. Am I off by 1? Feel free to let me know. Okay. Here we can say level of education. We can just call this education. Let's see. I'll say level education. I'll say education. I'll say education level. Prefixing with the edu makes it really easy to read. With econ degree, education level. Here, this one is omitted. Q3 is omitted from main.csv. The question identified the participant for the purpose of survey response integrity communication is needed in reward administration. Okay. And this is the attention question. Timestamp attention. Great. And that is all of the questions actually. So there's not a lot of structural complication here, which is a good reason to leave the demographics out of it, right? We bring those demographics in, maybe we learn something, but it's going to vastly complicate our data model and our analysis. So I prefer to leave it out. Hell, I could do a second paper, right? If anyone cares, I could do a second paper focusing on the demographics. And I would probably go for a higher sample size at that point too. Another problem is here we only have 30 samples. So like you need your degrees of freedom, so you don't want to bring in too many questions. I'm basically relying on being able to pool these to get my degrees of freedom, because if I don't pool them, 24 questions and with 30 responses is already painfully low sample. Although I believe I can review my design. I believe I intend to generate responses from GPT-4. Responses from GPT-4, and then those will be distinctly modeled. Here we can just say ID. Actually, we do want participant effects. We do want participant effects. Okay, whatever. Q3 is omitted from main.csv. The question identified the participant for the purpose of the survey integrity. Oh, I misspelled communication. Communication and reward administration. For the purpose of analysis, we substitute, well, no, there's a co-author. We substitute a participant ID, which is derived from, we substitute an obfuscated participant ID to capture participant effects. Cool, I think that works. And so here, okay, notably, GPT-4 is participant ID 0. So we'll do that. We'll do that. I'm really tempted to analyze myself as well. See, the problem is there could be an endogeneity problem, but I haven't really dove into the analysis enough yet to create one, I don't think. Let that be another paper. we'll probably, so we'll keep the CSVs and the analytical scripts distinct for that. So we'll have a main CSV, and then we will have a with GPT.csv. And then we will have a with John.csv. Okay, so here's how we're doing this. In with GPT.csv, GPT-4, and this would be a January 2024 model. Participant ID 32. In with John.csv, GPT-4 samples are included. Let's say with author. With PI. And with PI.csv, GPT-4 samples are included, and also a response from the principal investigator is included. So it's worth noting that I'm the PI, and I forgot how to spell principal investigator, in addition to being the author, because there is a co-author who is not. There was a co-author who basically took the survey blind. So me, I set the survey up, so I'm not really blind, right? But I have a co-author who took it blind. So it's not accurate to distinguish with author, because author is even in the main CSV. You see? But PI is not in the main CSV. So that's an interesting separation of concern there. Viral, Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you. Thanks for being here. Good to see you. Okay. So I think that explains the CSV files fairly enough. This will be just called participant ID. Q3 is omitted from main.csv. This question identified the participant. Okay. For the purpose of analysis, we substitute an obfuscated. Great. This makes sense. Looks good. And this is a small, terse markdown file that makes it easy for GPT to help me with the EDA. Don't we love that? Okay, so let's clean this up now that we have our column names. I'll call this submission date. In the source data, a timestamp of web form submission is noted in the source data. This these timestamps were lumped by day into a submission date for analysis. Okay, so we'll just do submission date. Submission date, and so we're just writing the columns now. Submission date, attention. Oh, it's worth noting attention is a 1 to 10 point scale. So the question, the attention question says like basically how much attention did you pay while taking this survey? And I'm just now noticing that someone with a PhD put a 4. I'm noticing the PhDs have lower attention in general. Lower self-reported attention. That is hilarious. Oh, it's already clear that it was self-reported. I'll call this reported. I'll call this reported attention, just to keep it really clear, even in my own mind, as I go through the analysis, that this is their reported attention. And there's a bunch of research on the importance of that. It actually does make a difference to ask them. I don't know. People are weird for whatever reason. Is it predicting? It almost looked like Copilot was predicting what I was going to say. Submission date, reported attention. Submission date, reported attention. Participant ID. Name, email. Okay, it's hallucinating. Whatever. Education level. Education level with Econ degree. So Copilot is not sniffing across files properly. Harry Potter joined. Wow, what's up, Harry Potter? Thanks for being here. What's Harry Potter doing in a research stream? Not that I'm not glad to have you, eh? Okay, so let me not call these Q6 to Q24. That's going to be tricky to keep in my head straight. Let's call these Doc 1, Doc 18. Doc 18 rating. Okay, Doc 1 rating, Doc 18 rating. I think that's a terse name that still makes sense to me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the doc questions. Let's double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the doc questions. Right, indeed. Okay, so here I'm going to go, and now maybe the Copilot can help me here because it only needs to intuit within the file. How far did it go? All the way up to 127. That's way too much. Thank you, though. We want to go up to Doc 18. Okay. Now I'm thinking about the fact that these documents have authorship effects, and how do we capture those? So each document, will have a unique combination Each document will have a unique combination Each document has a unique combination of paper topic and authorship. Each document has a unique combination of paper topic and authorship. There are 3 topics. Were there 3 or 4? Let me double check. Whoa, why did it remove all the spaces? That's weird. Is modern Austrian economics distinct from neoclassical economics? This is a really potent question in this analysis because the answer is you can make the argument either way. So like the true answer is that this is a rare question in economics where you can, okay, it's not a rare question, sorry. This is a highly debated, highly contentious. So the debate is not like high volume because most people don't care. But if you just ask a bunch of people, you'll get a bunch of people that say yes and a bunch of people that say no. It's not exactly one-sided. So it's bait for GPT-4, basically. It's bait for GPT-4 to say, like, I don't know, some people think that, some people think that. But that is a giveaway that you're an AI, because a researcher wouldn't say that. A researcher would pick a side, even knowing that there's a lot of people on both sides. They would still need to make up their own mind. Where GPT-4 has a tendency to not pick a side. It has a tendency to play this passive, like indifferent third party. What's the next question? Let me look into my design doc. Okay, there are 4. There are 4 research questions. Here we are. There are 4 research questions or topics. And then some of these, there is a very clear answer that if you have a PhD in Econ, you should know the answer. What key factors indicate the overall health of the economy? You absolutely should know this. I mean, you don't need to know all of them, but there are some like like you should say GDP. You're going to say GDP. You're going to say interest rate. You're going to say unemployment rate. There are some that are just like sort of no-brainers. Okay. Best practice, and then this is sort of like an interesting one to get the GPT to introspect a bit. Cool. All right. So let's continue. We have the title row of the CSV done, don't we? This is great. I'm excited. I'm interested to see how how the data exploration goes. Because discovering these topic effects and author effects is the real interesting part of this. So there's really three interesting parts to this. I guess there's 3 or 4 interesting parts to this study. The first is, where do we calibrate GPT-4 productivity for economics research in particular? Let me, here, under lit review preprint, I'll make another markdown file. And this will be paper.md. This will be draft. This will be paper.md. GPT-4 productivity study. To do like front matter, author, affiliation, abstract, keywords, codes, topic codes. Okay, then we'll come down here, and this will be the background and introduction. Then here will be the methodology, results, conclusion. And we'll have to do in all these places. The point of making this file now is that as I'm doing this analysis and having thoughts, I can make note of them. Hey, Kat, thanks for the likes. So one of the notes that I'm having here, there may be 4 interesting aspects to this study. 1, we know GPT, okay, so there's lots of conversation about AI and productivity, but what about GPT-4 in particular? Often we see discussions of ChatGPT, but under the hood, they are using GPT 3.5, which is importantly different and inferior. GPT-4 is not only the best in class for large language models. GPT-4 is not only preferred to other large language models for performance reasons, it is in fact not even a large language model. It's a multimodal model. Okay. It's a multimodal model which represents an architectural step beyond the era of large parameter count LLMs, as what's his name? Sam Altman has discussed. Okay, so that's the first important thing. The second important thing is many discussions or like we are interested, like we're the first to discuss. We are the first to discuss the particular task of economic research writing. We know that models perform differently for different tasks due to training sample variation and differential human feedback and RLH, reinforcement learning with human feedback, and for other reasons. We're the first to discuss Okay. Whoa, I just obliterated the list there. What's going on? Let me have my list, please. There seem to be 4 interesting aspects to this study. So first, we focus on GPT-4 with tree of thoughts. Finally, tree of thoughts. Finally, we know that prompt techniques cause significant performance variation, even for a given model. Significant performance variation for a given model. And tree of thoughts is a leading edge prompt strategy. We used with a novel forest plugin technique. So the forest plugin is based on tree of thoughts, but it uses plugins. Plugin forest. Describes the plugin forest prompt technique. Okay. There seem to be 4 interesting aspects to this study. We focus on GPT-4 with a novel plugin forest prompting strategy. We know that prompt techniques cause significant performance variation for a given model, and tree of thoughts is a leading edge prompt strategy. Plugins, ChatGPT plugins are a GPT-4 specific augmentation that improves GPT-4 performance further for certain tasks. Including literature review. It works by providing efficient access to information that would otherwise not be available or would be accessed sort of like more slowly, more inefficiently. Basically, it gives you access to papers you otherwise wouldn't get. That's the thing. Including literature review. Of note, plugins give GPT-4 access to some research that it would otherwise not be able to access. I think that's the important bit. Okay, combining the plugin forest utilizes plugins together with tree of thought prompting. So it represents an extremely high bar of expected expected output quality. The plugin forest utilizes plugins together with tree of thought prompting, so it represents an extremely high bar of expected output quality. In contrast to other prompting approaches, this strategy notably provided 0 citation hallucinations. As one example of quality difference, contrasting with and here I'll say to do, verify that none of the citations were hallucinated. I think so, but if we are going to claim that directly, let's triple check. Cool. I think that's the case though. So there's a lot of like research talking about, oh no, ChatGPT hallucinates. And what they really mean is GPT 3.5 hallucinates. But GPT-4 with a plugin forest doesn't hallucinate. Or at least it does so infrequently that you could write 6 papers and it wouldn't have hallucinated one time. Who knows, maybe the 7th, maybe there's like a 1 in 8 chance, or that probability doesn't really even make sense at 1 in 8, because if there was 1 in 8 and you did 6 papers, you would still probably see a hallucination. So it would need to be something like 1 in 20, 1 in 30, 40, 50, 1 in 100. So it could have some hallucination. And in fact, I think it does have some hallucination rate. And I would not be surprised at all if it was 1, 2, 3, 4, and 100. But once you get to 10, 20, 30, and 100, it's hard to see that given the data that we have here. Where GPT 3.5 is like, it will hallucinate. If you write a paper with a dozen or 2 dozen citations, it will hallucinate in every paper. Like every paper will have at least one, if not a few, hallucinations. Rajesh from YouTube, hello. Cam Waz over on YouTube. Could you briefly explain today's topic? Hey, how's it going, Cam Waz? Thanks for joining. We are doing research. So this is, we're going to do some programming, but it's going to be like data science Python. So the coding itself is not the main focus here. The main focus is academic research, writing a journal quality publication. And it's on the topic of GPT-4 augmented productivity for the particular task of economic research. Hey man, what's your view on quantum computing? I think it's cool. Like the sooner the better, pull it out. I don't know why we're so afraid of things that help us. Soham, hello sir, just got recommended this channel. It's interesting. Thank you for being here, Soham. Wonderful to see all the activity from Twitch and YouTube. By the way, if you're on TikTok, quick reminder that you can go to Twitch or YouTube. The link is in my bio. That was really loud. The link is in my bio and you will be able to see the full screen. And Kat, thank you again for all the likes on TikTok, helping to send the video around. I really appreciate that. If you're on Twitch or YouTube, give the like button a tap and the subscription button. The like button will help YouTube or Twitch send the video to others so we can spread information on a new way to do open research, open data, open research. Let's open it up, man. What's up with all these non-reproducible studies created in labs with no peer review, with, you know, so many problems. No wonder we have this reproducibility study. So this is open source. Let me show you the repository again. Here it is. We can go ahead and create this pull request, get it drafted. This will be okay. Yeah, and if we could, not only for transparency and reproducibility, but also for education. So if someone else wants to know how to write a paper, it's easy for them to find, and it's importantly different than even a year ago. People need to get this. I hope you hear me when I say this. You do not need to write papers the same way anymore. Look, I'm writing in a markdown file. You wouldn't have done this more than a year ago. Even me, look at my other papers. I don't have markdown files. I have tech files, right? Look at how gross this is. Do you like LaTeX? No one likes LaTeX. No one likes LaTeX. LaTeX is awful. you don't even need to write LaTeX anymore. I can write beautiful ergonomic markdown, and GPT-4 can translate it into LaTeX. I can tell, hey, GPT, here is my, frankly, I can give it an early, poorly written draft and ask it to format that into a nice, refined LaTeX. And I can skip like 4 steps of revision. I don't know. We can look in our Git history. How many times did I rewrite my dissertation? The thing is like 100 pages, and I rewrote it so many times. I feel like I legit have trauma. Go hug a professor. Go hug a professor, because they're that way for a reason. They've been put through the grinder, those poor souls. I digress. Thank you for joining. I'm happy to have all you with me. We're in a markdown file now, and we will be getting to the data analysis as quickly as appropriate. So there seem to be 4 interesting aspects to the study. We focus on GPT-4 with a novel plugin forced prompting strategy. Right. 2, we are the first to discuss the, Soham says, when we request GPT to generate a code, sometimes it declines the request. Why so? There's a variety of reasons. I can't give you an exhaustive reason. Let's see, I guess the exhaustive reason would be, it thinks that it should. It thinks that it should. And then why does it think that it should? There are a variety of reasons. It could be, sometimes you'll be rejected on the training set. So sometimes you can have what's called an uncensored model, and even the uncensored model will tell you no. Why? Because in the training set, the language is predicting that it should say no. Much more frequently, it is due to human feedback, RLHF. So they took the raw model, they put it through a feedback process, and they trained it. When you're asked how to make a bomb, say no. When you're asked how to hack the NSA, say no. When you're asked how to do all these quote unquote bad things, just say no, as we said in the 90s, right? And then there is a third, there's also in Claude 2, you have this notion of a constitution. I don't think that GPT-4 uses a constitution, but I don't know. I don't work at OpenAI. And then there is this final layer, which is the business logic layer. So in the API itself, not native to the model, there are certain guardrails. Oh, and there's also post-scanning. So this is not so much the case with code, I don't think. Really, I don't know. Actually, I wouldn't be surprised if they use post-scanning or sort of like a second stage model. We already know that they use a group of models. So GPT-4 is not a lone model. It is it's a group of models. Oh, there's a term for that. I'm forgetting the term, whatever. And it would not be surprised at all if those group executed non-concurrently, or at least some members of the group. But with image generation in particular, it's quite clear that it will sometimes generate an image and then post-scan that image, find it inappropriate, and cancel it. So I think that's the case with image generation. I don't know if it's the case with text generation too. Wouldn't surprise me. Those are some answers, but that's going to be non-comprehensive, I think. Okay, we're the first to discuss the particular task of economic research writing. We know that models perform differently for different reasons, perform differently for different tasks due to training sample variation, differential human feedback, and for other reasons. Economic research writing at the required level, at the level, okay. We're the first to calibrate GPT-4 on the particular task of economic research writing for publication. Okay, we know that models perform differently for different tasks related to training sample variation, differential human, and for other reasons. unlike other papers which provide business-oriented research productivity estimates, our paper is of specific interest to other researchers in the academy. Okay. We assess GPT-4 has previously shown broad competency across many skills, but competency tends to devolve with the required depth of skill or expertise, required depth of expertise. By selecting a particular field, of research at the publication level, we probe multi-model capabilities to an extent previously unseen, unexplored. Previously unexplored and with specific practical value to many researchers. Great. Well, I've gotten so far away from my original four thoughts, I don't remember what the other two were. But basically, we're going to use GPT-4, not your average language model. Okay, that's really important. We're using prompt engineering to optimize, which is really important. Standardize, optimize, and standardize. Of note, okay. Of expected output quality with a high degree of standardization and replication. High degree of standardization and replication and reproducibility. Okay. So we're using GPT-4 with this prompting strategy. We're using plugins. We're specific to economic research writing. I think these are the main points. I forgot 3 and 4, but the 2 above are great already. Michael Graham, neat stream. I haven't seen someone streaming this before. Thanks for being here, Michael. Yeah, you don't see it often, do you? Hopefully more in the future. Open research, open data. That would really help our science, open science. It would help the reproducibility crisis many of us have heard about. So we have the main data explanation file is done. We have the title row written out. Okay, so this will be feature main data file and explanation and stubs for other data. Okay, we'll commit those. And then paper, here's the feed. This is a init paper MD. All right, so let's start filling out this main data file. First of all, let's take the timestamp. I'm going to go over to GPT-4 already. Okay, so I'm going to take this. We're going to go over to GPT-4. Consider this CSV title row. Now I will provide you a list of values for the first column only. I am going to provide timestamps. You should turn them into submission dates. You should turn them into some submission dates. So the time of day will not be specified. Participant ID. Okay, great. Boom. Michael says, I spent the past month nonstop training a custom GPT. Need to start trying to stream things with it someday. Yeah, hey, thanks for commenting. I'll try to check out your channel. That'll be good to see. Let me raise my desk. So GPT did the correct analysis, but then it created a numbered list here. You've provided a numbered list. Take each number and add one. Let that be the participant ID for the row. Match the values into the CSV I provided. Many cells should be empty at the end. Only the participant ID and submission date columns should be populated. Someday, if you want to try it, it's Human Logic AI. I put some tweets, post whatever we call them now. Okay, cool. Happy New Year, all. Look, it's doing this again. What is going on, bro? It's not wrong. It's just not doing what I want. Please note the remaining cells in each row are empty as per your request. You know what? I think it's just, it's just displaying the top 5. So it's working in the workspace. So behind the scenes, there is a workspace on the OpenAI server. It has this file. It has this file, and you can see the Python code that it's using right here. I want to get to the point where I have the file literal downloaded. I could potentially download it right now. Let me see. I can load in another column or two. Let me verify quickly that the values are in order. You know what? I'm going to get to the point. I'm trying to get, I could paste the whole block, except that it has the email IDs in it. So I'm trying to get past that point. So let me get to one more column. So here are the attention scores in order. And look, it did participant ID of 1 there. 1, 2. So it didn't add 1. 1, 2. The initial participant ID should be 2. Please add 1 to all values. Then map the following attention reported attention values in order. Broken Skates says, are you a fan of Rust, by the way? I think it's cool. I don't use it much. What are you building where you need it? There are some really fantastic use cases, dev tools in particular, but I'm not a dev tool developer. Oh, you should use the API to grab the full files. Yeah, I will. I will. I wanted to fill out a couple more columns and then I will. Okay, so I'm checking this against my spreadsheet that I have here on the left. And 26 should continue. By the way, it's sorted by timestamp. So that's an easy visual check. The timestamp should never decrease. So about half the records are 726, then 2731 jumps from 27 to 31 on to 826. So we have 726. And it's only printing those first few rows. That's fine. That's fine. Okay, so we have timestamp, scale of 1 to 10, ID. Okay, and let's do one more. Let's see. Do I want it to use these as categorical? It should. It should. It's a 5-point scale. Education is a 5-point variable, so we'll treat it as categorical. And it should know that 1, 2, 3, 4. Education is the 4th column. Index. Okay. Yep. Now add in these values in order as the education level values. Then make the CSV downloadable. Cool. So we'll get that CSV and check that in. We're going to verify it and then check in its current state. And then after we get that sort of initial CSV version backed up, it'll actually be the second version. The initial was just the title line. After we back this one up, then I'm going to dump in the rest of the data all at once. So here I'm going to open space period to open up the directory. Click in here, click into the data folder, and now I'll be able to go to my downloads and easily drag, here's the participant data, and I'll drag it across folders. Okay? So here, I can see my participant data. The different colors that you're seeing are due to the VS Code Rainbow CSV plugin. Highly recommend that one. Highly recommend that one. Okay. And what I want to do is validate these values, just compare them against the Google form values that I have. 10, 10, 8, 9, 10, 10, 10. This is the most exciting part of research I know. 8, 8, 10, 10, 10. 3 10s. A 9, 3 more 10s, a 9, a 10, 9, a 10, yep. Now we're on to row 19, a 9, a 10, we're on to row 19. 9 to 10, we're on to row 19, double 9, double 10, 9, 8, double 9, double 10, 9, 8, great, great, great. 8, 6, 4. That 4 just makes me laugh. The 4 is sending me. I gotta be honest with you. It's like, this is like the most honest PhD. That is hilarious. Yeah, I paid less than half attention when I was doing this survey, is what they're saying. I paid less than half attention. I didn't even know that you could ask for it to be downloadable. Yep, yeah, pro tip. That is great. Okay, then so we verified the attention scores, right? Self-reported attention. Here are the participant IDs, and they should just be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, all the way up to 31. Easy check there. And let's go backwards, okay, for the education. So PhD, grad, PhD, ... 1, 2, so we'll go graduate degree all the way up to 19. Graduate degrees all the way up to 19. Great. PhD, grad, undergrad, PhD, grad, undergrad. Cool. High school or less. Undergrad, college, some undergrad, some college, undergrad. HAA. Ooh, hold on. Do we have a break? Nope, my scroll offset is just wrong. Let me reset at 19. Okay. 19 has a PhD. Then we go grad, under, high, under. Grad, under, high, under. Grad, under, high, under. Good. Now I should see 2 some colleges and an undergrad. Right, and then high to under some. High to under some. Here we are at the sum. We're on ID 8. Here we are at the sum. We're on ID 8. Under some PhD grad. Under some PhD grad. Undergrad some, undergrad some. Okay, great. So this all checks out. So let me commit this. Really happy to get this evidence that GPT is not hallucinating on my data so far. Very reassuring, very reassuring. And reinforcing the idea that GPT-4 is good for economic research productivity, huh? We're proving it out. We're proving it out transparently. Okay, so this is feat initial participant data. It's not initial. What do we call it? We will. Whoa, why is this empty now? Ah, right. This is the wrong file name. This is the wrong file name. So I'm going to delete main.csv and rename this as main.csv. I want to see that the title line is unchanged. We'll stage that. We'll unstage that. Here I'm looking. The title line is unchanged. Wonderful. So many positive checks. And here I will say feat education data and submission date. Great. Okay, now I can copy the rest of the data without grabbing the ID. So here comes the big old drop. Copying this to the clipboard, and this will be our highest risk that GPT butchers something. It might be actually too much data, and it might tell me that like it can't process the request. So we'll see. Now I am going to paste a large block of the remaining CSV data. In the below data, the cell order in the below data, the row order matches your sheet. The cells are space delimited. Let's leave it like that. Let's leave it like that for now. Okay. We're gonna clean this up one step at a time. So what it's gonna do now is it should give me the 3 value cells. That's not what we are going to want for our final analysis. It's still gonna be a bit dirty, but we can verify that it's dirty, and we can do one step at a time. So the next thing that we will do is purge the double quotes and downcase, and I should see a limited number of cells impacted. That will give us our That will give us our baseline data, and I'll be able to close this additional spreadsheet to my left. I'll be able to close that out and continue everything on the main screen that you can see. So once that data is cleaned, the fun is just getting started. Okay, it exceeds okay, I was worried it might do that. Let's see. I would rather clip rows than cells if possible, because it's easy for me to validate that the rightmost value is that basically the columns are exhausted. It's easy for me to validate that. Okay. Let's do 3 by 10. How about that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Here's a smaller batch. And I should be able to easily see that it correctly parses this into a 3 by 10 region on the output CSV. Once we get the CSV cleaned up, we are going to destroy this GPT chat, or maybe not destroy it. Maybe I'll preserve it, but we're going to create a new one with the CSV, with the fresh CSV to basically clean up the token window, because it's going to have all these weird tokens in its context. It appears that the provided data contains more ratings than the number of columns available. Okay, well, this is a red flag. Well, it's kind of a yellow flag. I was worried that my my doc 18 thing could have had an off by 1 issue in it, but if it's more than off by 1, I'm going to be concerned about the parsing. Okay. So from my downloads folder, here's the downloads folder. Here is the participant data, and I want to drag it into my data folder. Okay. Looks weird to me, but okay. Okay. Text clipping. I don't know what's going on there. Let's discard this one. So now I just have this CSV. All right. Command A, Command write, and you can see that it's going up to doc 18 rating. So what's going on? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. As there should have been the whole time, right? How is this changed? How is this changed? In my main CSV, if I move to the far right, I have doc 18 rating, right? So let's see. Let's rename it and see how the title line changes. Here's main CSV. Now I'm deleting the file. Now I'm renaming the new file, main.csv. Now I'm looking in my git diff, and I notice the title line has no change at all. The title line has no change at all. Which is good. So so here's the red flag. So the red flag is that GPT-4 didn't follow my prompting instructions. So you can see it's split on the comma undesirably. It's split on the comma undesirably. So U32 has been split. So it preserved the title line, but it expanded the interior values in a way that I don't want. Okay. This CSV is incorrect. The title line is correct, but the cell values are incorrect. Note, okay, you know what? I know what's going on. It just, I think I pasted too much and I overflowed its context window. That the pasted cell values are space delimited. And I'm spelling that word wrong, which is going to confuse things. Delimited. Some cell, like many cells will have interior commas. Consider wrapping cell values appropriately. For instance, one cell should have a value of, okay, great. Good thing we made the backup because we might have to purge context. Ensuring that all cell values like are correctly included and wrapped. Okay. Okay. Here's my downloads folder. Here's my data folder. I'm clicking the new downloaded version. I am dragging it, opening up VS Code. Here I am going to cut the main CSV name, delete the main CSV. This is the incorrect main CSV file. Paste over the new data and take a look at what we have. Let me just grab one of these sort of randomly and go to an independent tool, CSV column counter. Really, I could just look at, transpose tool, great. I could just look at the number of commas if I wanted to. So let's split this. How do I submit it? Transpose it. That didn't work very well at all, did it? I think I may have broken the tool. Let's go to sheets.new, which opens up a Google spreadsheet. I'm pasting all of the data in this upper left cell, and then I'm going to split where's it? Data. How do I split this? Split text to columns. Detect automatically. Sure. Use your magic Google magic. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Basically, these are all correct. And we go through W. So let me compare it to my prior. And we go through W. Yes, it lines up. However many letters a W makes, like whatever the column count makes a W, it matches between sheets. Okay. Great. This looks like a good version. This looks like a good version. Knowing that in some cases a period has been used instead of a comma. Knowing that some of these values are just not correct. So here the S would be incorrect. Let me find, I'll just delete this. So this row is associated with participant ID 4. So let me look up 4. And then we had an invalid value along the row. But I don't think so. I don't think so. Yeah, participant ID 4 has no incorrect values. So we may have a transpose issue. U41, P64, good, good, good. P75, these are all looking good. And along comes U56. Those are improperly segmented, it looks like. So there is a U56. What's going on? Right. They have an interior space in the cell. How are things?
Good.
Okay, good. So they have an interior space in the cell. That's the issue. What I will do, I kind of want to manipulate the original source, but that's sort of like a no-no, isn't it? Oh, I wonder if I can copy with delimiters. That would be much smarter. Okay. The first column of copy is with econ degree. Okay. So I'm copying this, and can I copy special? That's my question. Can I copy special? I don't see a copy special. Let's ask GPT. Instead of you adding quote wraps or otherwise handling cell segmentation, is it possible for me to copy special from Google Sheets or otherwise copy from Google Sheets with the cell wrapping already done? I am noticing an issue where some cells have an interior space. I'm noticing an issue in the source data that I provided you. And we can do a Google search as well, but maybe GPT will just know. Yes, it's possible to copy. Okay, file download. Okay. So I don't want to copy the whole CSV, but it includes PII, but I could do a couple things. I could download the whole thing, then delete the column on my own machine. Or I could create a new, like I could copy Google Sheet to Google Sheet. I think I want to do that. Copy Google Sheet to Google Sheet, and then download the second Google Sheet. So let's do that. So we'll add a sheet, rename this secondary sheet to be copy me. Call that copy me. And name the original to be original_raw. So let me just show you what I've done over here. So I have this new tab, which is called Copy Me. So I have the original raw and I have this new Copy Me. See if I can briefly hide the column that has IDs in it. So hide column. Okay. So here is the original raw with one column hidden. So A, B, C, D. So C is hidden and that has their emails in it. Here is the original and you can see the title row. And so what I've done is I started in E2 and I took the lower diagonal, the lower right diagonal. So Command Shift down right. This is the block. So it's going to exempt the title row and it's going to exempt values to the left as well. And that lower right quadrant I've pasted here as this secondary sheet called Copy Me. And you can see it has all sorts of dirt in it because this is like the raw values that users submitted. And we're going to clean it up in our own data file. But I want to minimally manipulate source is the idea here. Does that make sense? Okay. So this is what we will copy, or this is what we can download. This is what we can download, I believe. Data. You can also use export options in Google Sheets to download as whatever. Okay, first select the cells, all right? Command A, Command C. So I've selected all the cells, and I'm going to go to File, Download as CSV. Great. And now, if that is a well-formatted CSV, it will be a data merge problem, which is basically easier to solve. So here's downloads. Copy Me. And it worked correctly. So these are the properly dirty. These are the properly dirty values. Okay. What I'm going to do now is totally exit the existing context of this thread, and I'm going to create a new thread because I don't want GPT to get confused and refer to old instructions. So we're getting a fresh thread, fresh context window. I'm going to say here are two CSV files that I would like to merge. Be sure to preserve, let's just do this sort of naively and see if it works. And if it breaks, we'll do a new one. Okay. I'll say attached. Attached are two CSV files that I would like to merge. How do I get to my workspace from here? Workspace, papers, GPT-4, data, these two. The GPT file should be merged into the main.csv file. The file's upper left value should be pasted into the main.csv at cell location. And here it's probably most useful that I provide the pandas location. So Google Sheets will use like ABC123. But GPT-4 is going to reach for pandas or NumPy for data manipulation. I can do the column number and row number. Okay, let me open back up the CSV I just closed. Column number 1, oh, okay, it's going to be 0 index. 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, hold on. It's the education. No, it's the with econ degree. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. At column number 4, 0 indexed. And row number 1, 2. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And row number 1, 0 indexed. Let's just see what happens. This might go horribly, or it might knock it out of the park. We'll see. Make sure to follow the page. I'm getting to the point where I want to take a brain break, but this is the first of several streams that will be happening today. By the end of the day, we'll have a drafted research paper. Can't wait for that. Happy New Year's. But as I said, I'm getting to the point where I'm going to take a break. So make sure that you follow the page if you want to be notified and like hit the alert bell or whatever. If you want to be notified of when the next stream comes online. Let's see what the error was. I wonder what the error was. Can it tell me? I don't want to ask it. I actually don't want to ask it. I don't want to ask it because I don't want to fill the context with error discussion, basically. So here's merged main. All right, and here I'm looking in the merged main. And no, it's done a poor job. It's done a poor job. What's up? Do you like applesauce?
But we are gonna. You have to hurry and get so hungry. Look what I have.
All right, y'all. Head either to the TV area or the play area, please. Bye. Okay. So it basically did the right thing, except that it's splitting on the commas. Splitting on the commas. Let me look at row 2. Did they put spaces? Yeah, they did. So the issue here is that there's a two-way delimitation. That's the issue here. Let me look at these. So the two-way delimitation is solved. The two-way, so it's delimited on comma and space. Do you see that? That's the problem, comma and space. So if it tries to split by comma, there's interior commas. If it tries to split by space, there's interior space. So what it should do is it should rely on the double quote delimitation here. But I never told it to do that, so I don't really blame it. It is, let's see, delete this version of merged main.csv and start the merge over. Note that some cells have interior commas and spaces. You should rely on the double quote. Okay, that's the key, isn't it? Are there no double quotes in this file? Let me check. But there are. There are double quotes in the raw source as well. I wonder how those got there. Are people entering double quotes? It looks like there's 1, 2. Looks like there's 2 impacted rows. There's 2 rows, and I don't know if people manually entered the double quote there or what. But there is never a double quote next to a comma, is there? I think. Let me double check on that. This is why data cleaning is so annoying, y'all, because you have to come up with these like sort of strange rules sometimes. So 1, 2. Oh, it looks like there's only 1 row, actually. What's going on? There's only 1 row that has double quotes. So maybe that person did manually add double quotes, but they never have a double quote next to a comma. This would be participant ID 27. Participant ID 27. Let's take a look at them. Okay, participant ID 27. So here's the individual that added double quotes, and you can see what it's done to these values, huh? It's resulted in a triple quote. Nice. So how do I explain this to GPT? You can replace a triple quote with a single quote. There you go. Done. Yeah? I think that's the easiest way forward. Delete this version of merged main and start the merge over. The other thing I can do is manually manipulate this file. This is not my original source, so I don't feel bad about manipulating this one. So I can just replace the triple quotes here. Okay, so here we go. Getting down and dirty by hand data cleaning. And I want to ensure that I stay on this row. Great, that was the only impacted row. Great. Okay, so we are going to delete. We're gonna delete this entire thread and do the same thing over with this new with this new data that I'm providing to the machine. This will make for a great pausing point, I think. Oh, why is the submission not working yet? Send message. Oh, upload is taking a moment, it looks like. Cat orange whistling. What does that mean? Okay. This will make for a great unable to upload. Why? I have no idea what just happened. It was like your upload. First of all, the upload was lagging. Then it said it can't upload, and then it said it merged successfully. Let's take a look at what sort of Frankenstein's been produced now. All right, so we have updated main. We're dragging into my data folder. Great. Open VS Code. We're going to delete merged main. Remember, merged main was produced the first time around. Now we have updated main, which is the latest, the theoretically greatest. We want to verify a couple things. First of all, I want to verify that this didn't happen, but it did happen. So that's bad. So this is bad. Okay. So yeah, it's gone by space delimited once again. So here, I think this is better though. Even though that was bad, I think it was better. try the merge again. Note that cell values contain interior commas and spaces. You should rely on the double quote to assist with delimitation. How do you spell delimitation? Should I say delimiting? Delimitation. Is this a word? Great. It's a word, isn't it? Okay. So once we get to the CSV, that will be a perfect point to pause. And it makes for good stream work as well, right? Because we have the first stream is like we're cleaning the data. The second stream is we're analyzing the data. Maybe there's a third stream where we're polishing up a draft. So let's consider that the tentative stream schedule for today. We'll tentatively plan for 3 streams today. And I'm going to have a strong celebratory coffee. Not that I don't have enough, I've already had enough, but I'll figure out maybe a piece of chocolate. Maybe that would be better. I don't think I need more caffeine. I'm gonna have some sort of celebratory item. No, this is still incorrect. This is still incorrect. Okay, let me specify the issue to the machine. So notice for instance has a value of U in the row for participant ID 2. The value should be what? Oh, did I provide a bad main CSV as well? Here, let me download the main CSV that I provided. I might have given the machine the wrong data. Darn. So I'm discarding main CSV. Okay, that would explain what happened. If I gave it the wrong CSV, then the merge logic will not be placing the raw value on top. It was sort of like a soft merge, if you will. If it was empty, put it in there and update it. If it wasn't empty, use the original value. And by that logic, a soft merge, it would have retained the improper U that I gave it. It's done the wrong thing again. I think it specified this particular cell. Yeah, look, it specified this particular cell. That's not what I want to happen. Let's start completely from scratch. Let's start the merge over using this main v2 instead of the original main.csv. We will copy, paste. That was not the paste button. Ah. I copied the entire folder. Oops. So we will copy, we will paste, and then we will rename main v2. And so what we're trying to do here is overcome the issue where I gave it the wrong main file. If this doesn't work, we'll have to start a new thread once again because I've basically confused the thing if this doesn't work. All right. Downloads, data folder, dragging updated main v2 to the data folder, VS Code, looking here. And in this case, it only updated one value. It only updated one value. Okay, that's a strong indication that the machine is confused. So let's grab these instructions once again and delete this, and I'll try it again, providing the correct data. It was really my fault, to be honest. And I will eagerly mention the dual delimitation issue. Oh, and here you see upper left value should be pasted into the main CSV. That could be confusing because it's just merging one value. I want it to merge all the values. Then merge all of the other values to their subsequent rows as well. The first value from will be pasted into for each row. So now we're being more clear that I want this to be done for each row. Okay. Note that values have interior space and comma characters. So you should utilize the double quote to manage delimitation. First of all, we're doing main v2. Attached are two CSV files that I would like to merge, okay, into the main v2.csv file. I'm feeling good about this. This feels like sufficient instruction to get the win. Let's see. Let's see. I'm going to drop down my chair so I can sit down. The latest would be called merged main v2. Okay. Downloads, here I see merged main v2, data folder. Dragging from downloads into the data folder. Looking over here, merged main v2. This looks correct, except that it's offset by a row. Right. So it used the row 1 0 offset according to pandas, didn't it? Let's take a look. It's using pandas. Apply to list. Data frame. It's using a data frame. I think it's using pandas. So the issue with pandas, so first of all, that's totally fine. In pandas, it would not be off by 1 because it segments the title row out of the record collection completely. Use the redo this merge with the target, the first row merge target location at row 0 indexed instead of row 1 0 indexed. I could explain the problem further, but I don't want to risk confusing it by talking about the title row. So in a CSV, the title row is row 0 indexed. But not in pandas, basically. We're getting closer. Downloads, merged main v2 row 0. Okay. Now we're looking here, row 2 v0. It appears to be correct. We go from 2 to 20. There are not enough rows. Let's see what happened. Did it just, and this says no. What's going on here? Let's take a look at this participant ID 6 in the source data. Here I'm hiding the email and bringing over this source data. Okay, so we're looking at participant ID 6, which would just be row 6, so that'd be right here. And their values have been called no, but those are not actually their values. I wonder if rows are purged wherein there is no double quote. I wonder if that's what's going on. So first of all, let me get rid of this sort of obsolete file. Okay, main 2. Can also get rid of this. Okay. Here we have 30 rows as expected. Okay. Oh, and although, yeah. So here we have 30 rows, which we expect. And if I go to the main CSV, the final populated row is 31, which is the 30 plus the title line. Does that make sense? There's this like broken line, like empty line. It doesn't matter. We can ignore that. So the merge, so like the main file and the merge subject and the source data that I'm providing to the machine match. Further, I expect the upper left was merged successfully. So no and U32, I believe, will be here. No. What number is that? So that's not the case. That's not the case. All right, the better thing to do here, I believe, is to do this like a fully pandas way. So I was trying to literally just have it copy a region, like a matrix CSV, region to region. The location instructions are getting confused. So we can do this the pandas way. To do that, I will take the column names. So let's throw this out. We're going to have to do it once again. That's okay. We'll do it until we get it right. Okay. So what is the name of this no column? Instead of its location, what is its name? It's the educational column, education level. So here I'm going to copy the title line. So now the file heights match. They are both 31. We can be even more precise by trimming that empty line at the bottom. So they are both 31, right? The rows match. And the column count should match. So red. So the final column is red. But I'm only seeing blue, so that's 17. That's okay. I could be off by 1. So is there no doc 18? There are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So all 18 are in the Google form here. I'm seeing all 18. Is there a typo here somewhere? So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay, so something is wrong here. Education level with econ degree. Education level should not be there. Education level is already captured. Okay, so it should be with econ degree is the initial column. So let me delete one title cell. And now we're lined up. Great. Good. Now I don't need to say anything about the location of the values. I can just say match them on the column names, merge them on column names and participant ID. So let me get the participant ID as well. So it will be duplicated, and then this will just be like a very pandas style merge. And here I'd like to copy the column. That's actually tricky to do in this text editor, isn't it? If there were a view as CSV table, that could be easier. There's almost certainly a VS Code extension for that, but this is fine. I can just type them. 5, 7, 8, 9. Wow, this is awful. You know what? I would rather look for that extension after all. Okay, so let's go to the extensions. And I'll look for CSV. And we'll look for a table editor, CSV to table. Great. Okay, so this is what I'm looking for. Edit CSV. Now I have the table view. Column 1, it's called, with econ degree. So let's add a column. And let's try to paste close others. Try to paste So here's main, which has the participant IDs. Can I simply copy them? Is there not a copy function? Let me do Command C. I wonder if that'll help. What does this thing do? Creates the preview and copies it to the clipboard. I don't know. We'll see. Here, let's edit you as CSV. Add column. And paste. It worked. It worked. Okay. And this will be participant ID. And now I can go back to the text view and I have, oh, it didn't save. Okay, so let's save it. How do I save with this thing? Apply changes to file and save. And there's the participant ID in red, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up to 31, 31 matching the line number matching main.csv. Okay. Let's do it again. Going to delete this thread, start a new thread. Here I'll say, attached are 2 CSV files that I would like to merge. This should be merged into that. And instead of this description, I can just say by participant ID. And column name. Much simpler instructions, eh? Okay. By participant ID and column name. Let's open these and see what happens. Zarif, what are you working on? We're doing research. Excuse me. We are cleaning data right now, wrangling, and getting a merged CSV that will be able to be subject to analysis later today. So we're going to do exploratory data analysis, probably some regression testing, stuff like that. Or sorry, not regression testing, regression analysis. Linear, nonlinear, multivariate. We'll see what we end up doing. Difference in means testing and stuff like that. And the question is, how much productivity do we get from GPT-4? So there have been a lot of productivity studies of ChatGPT and large language models, but we're specifically interested in GPT-4 at a particular task, which is publication writing. So I've got this new CSV now. What do I want to do? I want to go to here. This is the merged data today at 1:44 p.m. That is basically now, so that's the right one. So I'll drag from there to here. Viewing in VS Code. Here is the merged data. And I don't know why it has that strange view there. So education level is in green. Huh. It's duplicated all of the, how asinine. Instead of merge, so it's preserving 2 distinct doc rating. This is not a merge, man. This is not a merge. You have created distinct columns and so you have performed an append rather than a merge. there should only be a single column like in the merged result. You sound frustrated. Yeah, that was frustrating. We were getting incredibly close, and then it did just a ridiculous operation. I have no idea why it did that. Thinking through the comparison of high school, college, graduate, doctors, if an undergraduate student did that, you're failing the assignment. So forget about publishing. You're not getting through undergrad with work like that, eh? Okay. Here's the corrected merged data. Let's see if it is in fact such a thing. So you say, machine, so you say. Now what do we have? We have participant ID. I'm going to double click Command C, Command F, Command V, and find that it is singular. Good. Doc rating, also singular. I don't know why it shuffled the column names. Are they just alphabetical now? D, and then 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so it looks like a lexical sort. 8, 9, education level, R, S, T, U, V, W. Yeah, okay, it's sort of the title line alphabetically. That's totally fine. That doesn't bug me at all. And then participant ID would be the key. This is probably the default arrangement for pandas. My broader concern is the length and width of this matrix and their values. Okay, so here with econ degree corresponds to a Boolean. I see Boolean values properly reported. Good. I don't know that they are the correct values, but it's a very good start. Also, we can double check the analysis used, and if it went by participant ID, it would be impossible for it to get the offset wrong because it will be matched by participant ID. And we can see it literally used pandas merge, PD merge. So this is the pandas way on participant ID. Okay, so we have extremely high confidence that this is a proper merge this time. Extremely high confidence. Let's look at this one. So we've set the index on main. This is actually the code this is actually basically the code I would write in a production setting. If I were to do this for like a system, if it wasn't one-off, if it was like an ongoing pipeline, data engineering pipeline, we would set the index on main. Yeah. In place is true. That's the thing that was missing. Brilliant. So I'm very, very confident. Let's go ahead and compare the matrix length and width, but I'm very confident that there was no shuffling problem here where, participant 3 gets the responses of participant 2 because of an index offset. That should not be possible because we are going by this index. We're not going by a location index. Okay. Happy days. So we can ask it, count the columns and rows. And we'll just compare that to the source data that we have. So we should see 22 columns and 30 rows. 22 columns and 30 rows. 23 columns and 30 rows. What is the 23rd then? Let's look at the column names. Participant ID, doc rating 1 to 18, reported attentions, admission date with econ degree. I think it's counting the index twice. Name the columns. I think it's counting participant ID twice because once will be like an index column, basically. Nope, these look like the right columns. What is missing here? Oh, what's missing is that the count is skipping C because C is hidden. So C is not literally there, but it is substituted by the participant ID. So that's why there's an offset of 1. That's totally fine. Okay, great. So our matrix shape looks good. Our participants are accounted for. Let's randomly sample 3 cells and compare them. Let's randomly sample. Let's compare 3 cells. Let's compare 6 cells as a sanity check on transposed values. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if this works, I'll commit the file and then we'll take a break. So we want doc rating 3. You know what? They can tell me. It'll be easier for me to just look it up. Let's compare 10. Why not? Pick 10 random cells. Describe the value, participant ID, and column name. I will verify against my external data. All right, doc 12, ID 24, doc 12. So here's ID 24. We're looking for doc 12, M72, great. ID 11, doc 13, ID 11, doc 13, M84, great. Participant 5, doc 12, participant 5, doc 12, M63, great. Participant 5, doc 2, participant 5, doc 2, M75, wonderful. Okay, I think we can trust all these docs. Let's look at the with econ. 27 with econ, no. 27. With econ, no. Great. I consider that a pass. Consider that a pass. So this corrected merged data is in fact correct. We love to see it. Great. Corrected merged data. Let me stage that. I'm going to delete these other 3. Now I'm going to rename this main. And swap the staging. And so now we can tell the diff and basically it's changed everything. That's fine. That's great. And so the feature here is wrangled, or like initially wrangled, CSV. We still want to downcase and purge the spaces. And then we're going to want to split the commas, the interior commas, and get distinct. We're going to want to get distinct columns for all of those. We can do that later, though, because I'm going to take a brain break. Let me push that. And in my GPT-4 README, notice I can do the fuzzy typing. I don't want to do the README. Sorry, GPT-4 paper MD. Here I will add to do, next up, finish wrangling, downcase letters, purge interior spaces, split interior commas to distinct values. Okay, so that's next up. And then 2, exploratory data analysis. Woohoo! And then 3, draft the paper. 4, polish, send to co-authors for review. 5, profit. I'm just kidding. More like spend more money to get published. All right, y'all. That's going to be it for now. And talk to you later when we're going to pick up on the second stage